And that's something that they're not doing.
Barack Obama can't get Trump's name out of his mouth. Everywhere he goes is Trump, Trump, Trump. What's wrong with Barack?
What? This is from today, right? They're not posting an old clip, right?
Well, guess what? The same thing is wrong with Trump. They keep talking about Barack Obama. They talked about Barack, or how you've been talking about him the last 30 minutes, or all of the Republicans. Just to be honest with you, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, Jesse. You know, one minute you say Barack Obama's...
Oh my God, dude. Would you say religion plays a huge role in the abortion discourse? Yes, I do think religion plays a huge role there, for sure.
Classy, and the next minute y'all say Representative Crockett is too over the top. So which one do you want? Should they meet you where you are, meet you where you're at, which I agree with. You want to get ugly, let's get ugly. You want to be polite, let's go Barack Obama. To be honest with you, I agree. The 2008 and 2012 strategies don't work anymore. You need to fight fire with fire. And it appears that Representative Jasmine Crockett, who I know you folks love talking about her, she seems to be meeting Trump right where he's at with the same type of rhetoric.
All right, well,
for midterms, and that's something that they're not doing.
Do you just not think people can actually hold religious beliefs unbacked by anything but faith kind of religious? Yeah, there are those people, for sure. Like, I think that, I think Huckabee is one of those people. There were a few strong religious candidates. Was Romney the big Mormon guy? Like, I feel like you can tell sometimes. Ted Cruz just feels very performative to me. Like, he'll say what he needs to win votes from his constituents. I'm sure he, like, believes that heaven and stuff is real, but I don't think he's going to let religion dictate, or he's not going to hold any of his political beliefs hostage due to religious stuff. Have you asked your apartment what's going on? It seems insane they can cause... Yeah, they email us. It's just this fucking renovations or whatever bullshit. One day ago, upcoming balcony maintenance. We hope this message finds you well. When informing our team, we'll be conducting maintenance work on the balconies, which include repairs, repainting, and pressure washing to ensure a smooth and efficient process. We kindly ask you to remove any furniture or personal belongings. I don't know how much longer. This was one day ago, so they keep moving up and down through the building. Why don't you stream from the studio during this? Because one, I don't even know if that's set up to. Two, I don't have like my computer all nice and in front of me and everything. And then three, I think you might still be able to hear it down there. At Destiny, that's incoherent. If you believe in heaven and hell, how could that not shape your politics heavily? Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. I just understood this. Because you keep saying that I don't understand religious people or whatever. You're not religious. That's my guess. You're either an atheist or you grew up in a very non-religious household. You don't understand how religious people think. I grew up in a very religious household, okay? I don't think you have any idea how religious people think. I think that you are actually naive enough to believe that a religious person studies whatever holy text they have, takes that holy text, and then principally applies it to all the different areas of their life and have some like steadfast commitment to their religious principled beliefs that come from whatever holy book they read. I think you have no concept of how religion functions in the real world, but I'm happy for you, King. Okay, I'm glad that you think that way. Okay. What am I looking for? This?
I'm
gonna lose it, dude.
Reaction content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment. And with people like Hassan reacting to entire TV shows on stream...
Check Hassan streamer.
Good one.
Can we get a thing about this then?
The state of reaction content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me.
The problem is everyone interprets everything however they want. Yes, I believe that I feel like religious is far more an instrument to people than some foundational axiomatic generator of like policy and principle. That's how I generally view it, but it's not always the case. But damn, 150K. With what, a dono?
Hold still, look at me.
I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry though.
Okay.
Out here.
What does energy drink actually do for me?
More
It makes you crash out. Don't drink it.
Help me, dude. Dude, I'm lightheaded. I nearly passed out in real life. Oh my god.
Oh, the lava. Somebody's in the lava.
Is he okay?
No, he's fucking not okay.
I didn't realize.
He got ash babies. He just turned it. Dude, he got fucking ash babies,
Dude,
man.
listen.
He got turned into a
Listen to me,
pile.
okay? Listen to me. Okay, he said he was hungry and needed energy, so I fed him one of those Red Bulls. I didn't realize
I told you to throw those things out.
I didn't realize.
I told
I
you.
didn't realize it'd make him. Listen to me, okay?
Told
I
you.
didn't realize it'd make him fatigued, and he would just.
I fucking told you they kill everyone.
Bro, 100K is too fucking much, I'm not gonna lie.
You good, bro. Don't even trip. 150 over
That's
there.
nuts.
You good, bro. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I mean, if it wasn't,
I think that's correct, right? Yeah, okay, that's
It's
good.
also Omi's birthday.
Okay.
It is Omi's birthday in 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're shameless as hell, Casper. I'm about to kick you and take the money back.
No. I didn't mean to like that. I meant happy birthday to Omi.
Man.
Based. Intifada means uprising and or rebellion, but I get that Arabic words sound super scary to you. Thanks for making my point for me. Okay. Can I get my last question answered? You know what? Yeah, as a non-sub for sure. What? So if Jews are being pogromed in Middle Eastern countries for centuries, assuming religion played a large point in those, at what point did the hatred stop being because of religion? When you're talking about pogroming Jews, I think that I think one of the difficulties when it comes to religious stuff is that religion and culture end up getting like a little bit quashed together, where religions and cultures become intertwined with each other. I think one of the big reasons why people don't like Jewish people historically is because Jews tend to kind of like keep to themselves. Meaning, in a religious sense, that's true. They kind of have their own religion. But also, I think culturally, they stay a bit separated as well. Like, remember, Jews are weird in that they don't really proselytize. They don't try to convert other people to Judaism. They're happy, like, keeping their own customs and traditions and all that shit. I think historically, that's been a big issue. That's why a lot of countries shit on Jews, Christians and Muslim countries. Gonna lose it. How long has it been going on like this? Has this been weeks? You said a few streams ago that the noise isn't an issue for you personally. Does it irritate you? Well, before it seemed like they were always done by like noon, I think. Like, you guys haven't heard this on stream. It seemed like they're always done by like noon at the latest. What is this? Why? Oh, is this what you have upstairs and in the unit above me? You should critique Atrioc talking about Israel and Iran.
free. Yeah,
you know who else has money? Iran.
Oh, that's your transition?
Yeah. That's the transition.
Hold the lemon for that one.
I've heard that, and so I'll lemon here. I don't know if this is true.
Yeah.
Iran is a country?
Yes, I actually think you're dead on with that one.
And I would appreciate a primer
Can I get the lemon?
on what the frick is going on over there.
This is a complicated
Atrioc.
effing issue. I think we're all aware of that. It's happening. Breaking news this week. In fact, it's breaking news now. I'm sure by tomorrow it'll be different. I don't know if, Perry, you could pull up that article we were looking at from the FT, but it's like Trump is right now, as we're speaking, saying, I don't know if I'll attack Iran or not. Will I or won't I? You know, we don't know how this is going to play out, how the U.S. is going to get involved, anything. So take it all with a grain of salt. But I did prepare a short primer that might give you guys, or the general, I don't know, maybe mostly American audience, some idea of like how we got to this point, rather than try to break down the specifics of breaking news. Because I don't know how it's going to play out, and I don't much care to like give a deep weigh-in on it. So if you don't mind, I'll go to a presentation. Let's see if anything Lemon to say. Okay. Okay, I'm here at the Lemonade stand, Horse Electrolyte Powered Stable, aka Breaking News Center, aka. And I want to talk to you about the Middle East today. This is a nice map of the Middle East.
That's the Middle East is a country.
No, dog. That's the thing. Middle East is a region filled with a lot of countries. Great question. Aiden, get your questions better. You're not keeping up with Doug. Where's my presentation?
You know what? I'm not muting my mic because you are going to suffer through this with me.
That they were agreed to with all these sides that nobody honored after they gave up the nukes, and then Russia invaded them, and then So,
hey, I just want you to know you help people just by streaming for us. At least for me, it helps maintain the bit of sanity I have left. Thanks, buddy. It means a lot. Okay. At Destiny, I just had an epiphany. You just think all the religious shit is just cultural, so it doesn't count as religion-based problems. 90% of people don't interpret it like you, which is why we're butting heads. Exactly. What I do is, any part of the religious thing that you try to blame it on, I redefine it as cultural so that I can win the argument by default. And then that way, I'm always correct. That is like 50% true, though. I think that the religions and the cultures are deeply interwoven, such that I just don't like blaming things on purely religion because it doesn't explain there's too many problems on the planet, especially shared by people that supposedly have the same religion. So you're missing something if you just do a religious analysis. You can talk about how the religion and the culture intersect or how one amplifies the other. That's totally valid. But if you just do the religious analysis, it's just not enough. It fails.
Oh, they wish they'd kept their nukes because they would have less chance of being invaded. And other countries are learning that lesson, that the words don't matter as much as just having the nuke. And that's why there's been a push for it from a lot of different countries that didn't have it before.
I don't know what he just said. What time did it stop yesterday? And you're correct, a bunch of Americans could convert to Islam today and they wouldn't start jihading. I mean, we have a bunch of Muslims in the United States that don't jihad. Believe it or not, there are a bunch of, like, if you did a strictly religious analysis of the planet, then you would have, like, the most supercritical region of constant turmoil on the fucking planet would be the formal, like, state of Israel, right? You have 2 million Arab Palestinian Muslims, generally, who live in the state of Israel. These people should be constantly jihading and killing and fighting against the Jews that live in Israel, and they don't. For the most part, they get along. That should be impossible. That's like inexplicable if you just do the religious analysis. There must be something else operating there. There must be something else going on there, right? Why don't you ask your landlord what's going on and when it is expected to be over? I didn't. What I did was I just didn't tip them last month. So now they're probably mad at me, and now I don't want to go and talk to them, so... At some point, this has got to ascend to the levels of, like, the DDoS kid, right? Just kidding! My FBI watcher, I love you. Wait, do I have access to .gov sites yet? DOJ, is it DOJ.gov? Is that the Department of Justice? Fuck. Department of Justice. Oh, we're back. Thank you. Thank you, FBI agent.
It's not a good thing. Other countries are learning that lesson. They wish they'd kept their nukes because they would have less chance of made it. Were agreed to as part of a strategic security peace deal that they were agreed to with all these sides.
That we made it this far?
Ukraine is a reason why.
Limited, right? Right? Like, you can't poke the reason that America, there's a lot of bears all over the fucking world, right? Like, the instant they...
Wait, is Atrioc normally clean-shaven? Atrioc, YouTube. Listen, I think the best counter is the troubles in Ireland. They used religious divides to justify the violence, but it's about unifying the whole Island. You skipped 1 hour into the video. Oh, good, I accidentally clicked somewhere. Okay.
3.
I did. You're right. Bruh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he's not. Damn, he's got like a Giga Chad face structure. Are they installing the first ever 6G tower on top of your apartment? Maybe. I feel like they're getting closer. I feel like every day, I feel like they start at like the 30th floor and they just drill down until they get right above my apartment and then they stop for the day. And they're like, okay, we got it.
Yeah,
you know who else has money? Iran.
Oh, that's your transition?
Yeah.
That's the transition.
Hold the lemon for that one.
I've heard that, and so I'll lemon here. I don't know if this is true.
Yeah.
Iran is a country?
Yes, I actually think you're dead on with that one.
And I would appreciate a primer
Okay, can I get the lemon?
on what the frick is going on over there.
This is a complicated
Atrioc.
effing issue. I think we're all aware of that. It's happening. Breaking news this week. In fact, it's breaking news now. I'm sure by tomorrow it'll be different. I don't know if Perry, you can pull up the article we're looking at from the FT, but it's like Trump is right now, as we're speaking, saying, I don't know if I'll attack Iran or not. Will I or won't I? We don't know how this is going to play out.
Does this qualify as a reason for temporary rent reduction? Probably, but I have to get like a bitchy friend to make the call because I'm too much of a pussy. I'm the kind of guy who orders like a medium steak, and if it shows up like well done, I'll just eat it and not say anything and still tip 20% because I'm an actual fucking pushover loser cuck in real life. I need Eris or whatever. She was good at, she had a real good Karen voice when she wanted to get shit done.
U.S. is going to get involved, anything. So take it all with a grain of salt. But I did prepare a short primer that might give you guys, or the general, I don't know, maybe mostly American audience, some idea of like how we got to this point, rather than try to break down the sticks of breaking news, because I don't know how it's going to play out, and I don't much care to like give a deep weigh-in on it. So if you don't mind, I'll go to a presentation.
Educate us.
Okay, I'm here at the Lemonade Stand, Horse Electrolyte Powered Stable, aka Breaking News Center. Okay. And I want to talk to you about the Middle East today. This is a nice map of the Middle East.
The Middle East is a country.
No, Doug, that's the thing. Middle East is a region filled with a lot of countries. Great question. Aiden, get your questions better. You're not keeping up with Doug. Where's my presentation thing? Okay, so I want to explain why we're always hearing so much about the Middle East and why every other country seems to care deeply about the Middle East and why these regional conflicts have so much foreign meddling and so much interest from everyone else. And I think we all know the basic answer, but I'll start with this cartoon. You guys know that trope in movies and TV where one character is...
Guys, install NVIDIA Broadcast and then activate noise removal. No, fuck you. If I have to suffer, you have to suffer, okay? And I'm watching my viewership. If it drops, if I see you guys are leaving, I'll remember. I have lists of all the people on my stream. If you leave, I will follow you and I will ban you. Because if you can't take us at our most blah, 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 then you don't deserve to have us at our most silky smooth, okay? Fuck you. I'm watching all of you, okay? You better stay put. And you better turn your volume all the way up. It is getting louder, right? I'm not... These are just like power washers. It feels like they're drilling through the floor, though.
So hungry he sees the other one as food.
Yeah.
Okay?
Timeless.
This is how the rest of the world sees the Middle East. as oil.
Ah.
Okay? This is what they see. This is what the big regional powers of any era in the past 100 years have seen in the Middle East. It's oil, crude oil, petroleum, oil.
And then is that Afghanistan with opium?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's cool. You gotta have a little fun with
a
your
little fun.
oil
Parallel
too,
food stuff. Like
I think the shipping route stuff matters as well, but
but mostly it's oil. And oil, as we all know, is like the lifeblood of the modern economy. It is transport, it is plastics, is everything runs on it. Even as we get more electrified, we try to move off of oil. It is still so incredibly vital to modern economies. Every single barrel of oil that comes out of the ground gets bought. Not a single one is just sitting there on the
don't
shelf.
they take breaks or lunches? I think they did at like 11:30 because I hadn't been doing this for 2 hours, and then I started my stream, and like 10 minutes into it, it starts.
Unsold. Everyone buys it. Everyone needs it. It's important. So especially in the post-industrialization World War I, World War II era, people have realized that it's incredibly important to their country. And because Middle East has 6% of the world's population, but 30% of the oil, it has always been drawn into conflict and meddling and interest because of the power of oil. That's just needs to be understood. I think most people understand this on a base level, but this is like...
Name one time there's...
I'm going to get to that. Okay. Another thing that's really important, especially in the modern day with the Middle East, are these 3 red circles. I used YouTube circles so we can all understand what's going on.
This is the, Strait of Hormuz. I think that's the right word. That goes into the Persian... Is that the Persian Gulf? This is the Red Sea that goes through the Suez Canal, and then this is the... Is it the Strait of Djibouti? This one?
These 3 are like key shipping lanes, okay? This is the Suez Canal. Something like 15% of the world's trade goes through this.
Yep.
So if you have
Big
military,
guy.
strategic, or air superiority over this area, you have a real geostrategic advantage. And if someone else does, then you're at threat of them.
Can you remind me, is Suez Canal completely owned and controlled by Israel
Egypt.
or by Egypt? I think
It's by Egypt.
But the whole world has like an interest in it. So to say that it's completely controlled by Egypt is not strictly true, because if Egypt said we're shutting it down, it would no longer be controlled by Egypt. Look up the capital of Djibouti. Capital of Djibouti. Djibouti City? Okay, based. Why aren't you calling Atriarch out for the oil analysis? Didn't you say the idea that the Middle East was only entered for oil was retarded? No, I said that the reason for us doing the Iraq war wasn't just for oil. That's retarded. You can say that oil, in a very broad sense, is a big interest in the region, but we didn't go to Iraq just for oil. It doesn't make any sense. It's not like we sucked a ton of oil out afterwards. It's just a very one-dimensional thing to say.
Israel has had control over the canal, right? At times, I believe.
I give me the lemon. I don't know. I'm not sure. I understand
I'm fairly
that,
certain there's been periods where they took it over and it was controversial. But anyway, okay, so Egypt controls the canal. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, Britain at one point controlled it. It's now been taken over. Like Egypt has nationalized it, but I think there's like a consortium of countries that have a stake in it because it's so incredibly important. That's the idea. This, the Gate of Tears down here, 12% of the world's trade goes through here. That's why there was so much conflict with the Houthis in Yemen, because they could cut that off. And then there's the...
Anything that goes through the Suez is probably going to have to go through that first, basically, right?
Why am I blanking on the name? I know this.
This is the Strait of... This is the Strait of Hormuz, I'm pretty sure.
This is the Strait of Hormuz.
Strait of Iran.
The Strait of Hormuz.
Oh.
But basically, this is where like something like 20% of the world's oil, a fifth of the world's oil, goes through this strait. It is so incredibly important.
Because it's all the oil coming out of like
all
Bahrain,
the oil comes out of these
Qatar,
countries,
UAE.
and it
I thought they stopped.
goes out to, through here to Europe. It goes to China. It goes to India. It's so important. And Iran has the ability to mine and close off this strait, which could cut off the lifeblood of countries all over the world. So these are
Persian
really,
Gulf.
really important. And every other country, all the major powers, want to make sure that these don't fall into the hands of someone who could be their enemy, who could cut that off. Everyone wants the Middle East basically to be divided and to not have enough power to control or have authority over these because they're so important. I just want that to be understood from a strategic level. Okay? There's all the stats I was forgetting. I forgot I wrote them down. Okay, so that is why all the major strategic powers around the world are coming in to try and redraw lines in the Middle East or get involved. Okay, this is why. We get it? Now, if you flash back, again, you see here there's US, Russia, and China who all have their own proxies and influence in the Middle East. If you flash back, turn to the 1900s, China was not a major power. It was Britain. So it was the same three. There were 3 big powers, but not China. Okay, and I want to start there to get an idea of how we got to where we are today, because we're talking about Israel attacking Iran. But I want to give a context for why Iran is where it is and why Iran is such a center of conflict for the West in general and then Israel.
Because the tectonic plates moved it there.
That's right. I'm going to start with Pangea.
Okay.
Can you go further back?
So the Big Bang really kicked off.
And the Big Bang is a country.
Doug, you're going to beat all the lemon.
So this is the current Ayatollah of Iran. Iran is a theocracy, pretty repressive. And again, so this is the current Ayatollah.
Is a country.
Is this like an alpha mask blend or whatever? I like this. This looks nice. And the scoot over and everything looks nice too, the transitions.
Doug, you're going to beat all the lemon.
So this is the current Ayatollah of Iran. Iran is a theocracy, pretty repressive. And again, a direct enemy of, death to the United States, death to Israel, death to whatever.
Watch this. Let's take this one at a time. Arresting violent criminals improves security. Like someone who would break into a car and steal. Let's take this one at a time. True.
Whatever. So, and I want to know how they got to that specific point. So this is William Darcy. He is a British socialite. He's a party boy. He had rich parents. He went to Australia on a whim. He made a bunch of money doing some mining companies. He didn't do any of the mining. He just threw some money at it. Kind of like TMC, actually.
An Australian does own TMC.
An Australian Aiden threw some money on TMC, made a bunch of money. He's rich as hell. He's like looking for his next business opportunity. He heads over to Persia, which is now modern day Iran, in like 1900. And he says to the leader of Persia, I don't remember this guy's name, he goes, hey, listen, I think I can find oil in your country. I'm going to make it rich. I'll give you $3.7 million. This is in today's money. I adjusted it. If you give me exclusive rights to look for all the oil in Persia for the next 60 years, I'll give you 16% of the profits. The rest goes to me. Now, at the time, there was no oil found, and it's mostly desert, mostly undeveloped. So this guy goes, LOL deal. He goes, fine, I'll take the millions of dollars. I don't hear him find anything. And what's crazy is he doesn't find anything for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years, for 5 years, for 6 years. It's a big country. He's looking, spending money, he's wasting his fortune. They're not finding anything. And then after 7 years, I don't remember the exact region, they strike oil. And it's a huge oil field. It's a juice.
Look up Geostrategy 8, the Iran trap. Why? I don't know this guy. Why do I care about this guy? Are you his biggest fan? Spamming this in my chat? What? This is an hour and 5-minute video.
It's a massive one. It's a fortune. It's a game-changing level of
pog in the chat, bro. Damn.
A pog for Darcy. Okay.
Can we get a W for Darcy?
His 7-year struggle
looks
has paid off.
huge.
And now the wealth he stands to make from this makes this investment seem really, really smart. It makes it really beneficial, especially because he signed a 60-year deal, which is absurd. Okay. So now he forms the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, which
is that watching an hour and a half video? We're just watching like 10 minutes of this.
Becomes a massive success. Right? It's just printing cash, geysers of oil, cash money. And he only has to give 16% of the profits back to Iran. So it's an incredible deal for him. And the Iranians are kind of miffed. This is not looking good. Okay? I don't know if you know anything about the period of history between 1907 and 1950, but something happened in there that made oil really important. I don't know if Doug, you got any?
Could be.
The iPhone.
That's right. That's right. Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, and they needed oil to ship them around the world.
Was it the 2 world wars?
That's right. And it was World War I and World War II. World War I and World War II.
And those are a country.
These are countries. And in these wars, Britain especially, before World War I, Britain is the global superpower. By the end of World War II, they're greatly diminished. But in those wars, they basically put their entire economy towards surviving these 2 wars, and they need oil. They need oil badly. So they decide this can't even be a private company. They take over Darcy's company and make it into what is now British Petroleum.
Okay, hypothetically. $110 million. Christ, all this shit is for sale? What the fuck, guys? Okay. What does $1 million get you in New York? Okay, $650K. Condo. 1 bedroom, 1 bath? Oof, okay. What about 980K? Okay, a bigger 1 bed, 1 bath. 1,386 square feet. How many square feet is my apartment? Hold on. That's a big apartment, isn't it? Am I crazy? What am I looking for? I don't even know where I fucking live. That's dollars per foot? Oh, never mind. Fuck that. Damn. That's high, right? It's fucking Manhattan, of course it's high. Oh, it's 707 square feet. Okay, that's... Bruh. Come on. Am I gonna do it? Am I gonna be a complainer? Their push, I might. If I want to know like the square footage of the apartment that I have, bro, I'm gonna, dude, I can't. Where would this even be listed? Would it be my lease? I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't know anything about where I live right now. I don't know anything about anything. What's the customer portal? No! They have another tool. They've gotten closer. They're like penetrating the layers. They're penetrating deeper and deeper. They just hit the next layer. This is the loudest one yet, right? I'm not crazy, am I? This is the loudest one. Bruh. My apartment. Documents. Other documents. Lease renewal. That's probably like my... That should have information about my apartment, right? Bro. No, this isn't even what I'm looking for. I feel like it's like 1,300 square feet is where I live now, which is spacious. I'm okay with that. That's a big, for me at least. Are there houses in Manhattan? What do the houses like start at? 1.3 million, one bedroom, one bath, 770 square feet. Bro, they're not fucking around here. Holy shit. 700 square feet. Okay. Let's go north a little bit, okay? Let's escape this. Oh, look, near Central Park, kind of. Oh, here we go. 1,000 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Immaculate in-suite bathroom. Wow. Open concept living space, meaning they were too bored to put walls so they could increase the square footage. That was in the Bronx? No, we're still in Manhattan. No? We're right next to Central Park. Don't go past 96, it becomes Harlem? Isn't that been gentrified? Are you moving to New York? No, I'm just... Actually, this is triggering the fuck out of me. Why live in the most expensive place in America? It's not like you live in LA, New York, or Miami. It's about collabing opportunities. But when I came here initially, Melina wanted to be here, and then there were a lot of Red Pill people that were here to do stuff with. If I moved to another city, it would be New York or LA, because that's where all the content creators and everybody are at. What'd you do without Dan if you moved out? If Dan wasn't here and we weren't doing the podcast here, I would move to New York or LA. This can't be real. You just can't do anything, right? Are people like watching TV and living life? They're probably at work. It's Miami Beach. Nobody fucking works here. They're all just rich. I hate this. I hate everybody here. I'm gonna... The slow jackhammer penetrates the apartment. Like, does this sound like power cleaning? Is that what the machines sound like? Do you really collab that much with people you don't fly for? In Miami, I mean, we were doing like fresh and fit and stuff for a bit. But other than that, no, nobody else really lived here. Melina just really wanted to move here. In LA, I didn't initially when I moved down, but then after I left, because I started doing podcasts more, if I lived in LA now, there'd be a lot of stuff to do. Like, I'd be on No Jumper probably a lot more, because I'm in contact with those guys, and there are other shows that I'd be doing a lot more. And then the fly up to Vegas is very... Oh, and Jubilee as well. Like, there are a couple Jubilee auditions they've asked me to do, and I just haven't, because I don't... Flying over to... It's just... The flight to California is brutal. 6.5 hours. You're wasting almost like 2 days just flying. But the flight to Vegas is quick and easy. And then in New York City, there's just a ton of like media people. LA would probably be better though, and I'm proud of Newsom right now, so I'd probably just do it because Newsom is a fucking god. He's my god. Why not North California then? It's way better than LA. I don't know how many content creators live in Northern California, and I think I prefer Southern California to Northern California. Are they done? Did we make it? Oh my god.
That's where it comes from, BP.
Oh, and they've stayed pretty controversy free.
So they buy him out, and now this is the British Petroleum Company, and they own Iran's oil, essentially. Iran's oil is essentially nationalized by Britain, which is a weird spot to be in. Then this guy comes along. I'm going to get his name wrong, but it's Mohammed Mossadegh, but I'm probably saying it wrong, okay? You sue me. Give me the lemon if I have to say it. This guy comes along in Iran. He is democratically elected, and he rides a wave of populist support in Iran, basically saying, hey, this oil deal sucks, and we need to nationalize Iran's oil for ourselves. Now, to be super clear, he actually is, first of all, he's like pretty pro-Western, pro-America, and he starts off by saying like, hey, I just want a better deal. Give us 50% split. Give us a better split. Give us insight into the books so we know we're not getting cheated on the profit split. Britain goes, LOL, no. Britain goes, nah, no deal.
I'm beginning to see how this links with my knowledge of Iranian history.
We're gonna get to,
I'm beginning to connect the dots here.
It's all going to start to catch up. So this guy goes, we want a better deal. Britain goes, LOL, no. Eventually he wins the election and he goes, fine, if we're not getting a better deal, we nationalize it. So he completely takes the oil fields from Britain and nationalizes them for Iran, at which point, he's actually becomes Time Man of the Year. Like, again, he's very well respected in the West. At first, he's democratically elected. This is before the nationalization, but Britain, this is where he signs the deal. He signs the deal, nationalizing the oil fields. Britain gets angry. Britain is very, very pissed because this is a strategically important source of oil for them. They've invested a lot into it. And of course, they have this piece of paper that says they have it for 60 years, which is only about 10 years from being up. But they're like, you cannot break our deal. So they go to US President Truman and say, get him. You know, this guy's.
I don't know if I'll bring this up, but I don't know if that leader was as universally loved and respected in Iran. And Iran was also going through quite a bit of turmoil at the time. Part of the reason I believe, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I haven't done my deep dive yet into this, okay? Part of the reason I believe why Iran was eyeing those oil fields so much and felt like it was such a bad deal was because the country was having a lot of political turmoil. I'm sorry, not political turmoil, a little of that, but a lot of economic turmoil as well. And they were like, okay, well, our shit is fucked. We need to shore up some stuff. And that was the easiest thing that they looked to well, not the easiest, but one thing they looked to change that.
Breaking our deal, and Britain's a little bro at this point. They've lost so much power post-World War II that they go to their big bro and say, hey, go get him. Truman goes, no. Truman goes, this guy's cool, just give him a better deal. Truman literally says, Truman at the time is signing a deal with Saudi Arabia for 50-50 oil splits. And he's like, just do that, give him 50-50. Like, don't make it a big thing. Britain is super angry, doesn't want to do that. Then Truman is succeeded by Eisenhower. And Eisenhower is really, this is the 50s, really scared of communists. This is the beginning of the Cold War. He's very anti-communist. And Britain hatches a plot. This guy, by the way, Mohammed Mossadegh, is not communist. But Britain hatches a plot where they'll say, get him, he's communist. And they start really leaning on the angle of like, this guy's, he's probably about to be a communist. He's a communist. You gotta watch out, Eisenhower, he's a communist. If you don't get him, Iran's gonna be communist.
Do you disagree with this framing of the nationalization of Iranian oil in the 50s? That they wanted to nationalize it, or that Britain owned it? I don't think either of those points are untrue. I actually kind of had this thought yesterday, but it's premature and I haven't fully cooked it yet. But I think there is fundamentally an issue. One of the nice things about democratic countries is I feel like you can enter more moral deals with them. I feel like it's very hard to morally engage with an undemocratic country because a lot of the times the leaders are just looking for personal bribes. Like I know that at least in the early 1900s, this was happening in Iran, where you could just personally bribe the leader and he'll like sell out his country. I know that part of the issue when Palestinians complain about Jews just like moving in and kicking them out, that was because a lot of just landowners in the Ottoman Empire were just selling shit. They were never there. They didn't give a fuck. They just wanted to make money. I feel like when you have non-representative forms of government, I feel like it's very easy for the people to get kind of fucked there, for leaders just looking to personally enrich themselves.
And the more I learn about the Red Scare, the more insane it gets. That era of politics, through reading Price of Peace, through learning things we've learned on the show, and then just historically, it blows my mind how much you could get away with.
Just calling anyone
just saying somebody was a communist.
It's like the Salem witch trials.
It actually is like that.
And Britain, literally, it's their strategy. It's written down. There's some leaked communiques where they're like, yeah, this is our plan. We're going to call him a communist. It's going to get Eisenhower on our side because we need Big Brother on this. Eisenhower thinks about it. He's like, well, Truman didn't want to. We got to do it. It's communist. So then Eisenhower's angry. Now he's like, all right, now he's a communist. I'm involved. So he decides, okay, I'll help you out, little bro, and sends the CIA on Operation Ajax. Operation Ajax is led by a man literally named Kermit. This is not a joke. His name is Kermit Roosevelt, and he's like the great-grandson of Theodore Roosevelt. Like he's actually related to presidents.
Damn.
I don't know if he's the grandson or grandnephew or whatever, but he's Kermit Roosevelt is sent in on a mission to get rid of Mohammed Mossadegh in Iran. Not kill him, but get him out of power. I don't have a picture here, but he does. That's the long and short of it is Kermit does. The CIA helps orchestrate a coup that overthrows democratically elected President Mohammed Mossadegh for the Shah of Iran to come back. The Shah comes in. He is extremely pro-Britain, pro-West, repressive, and he is the one that's going to allow the oil to go back to Britain. That was the purpose. And now
we were really ripping that all over South America.
Well, dude, it's so funny. So this is interesting. This is the first one, and man, the history could have gone so different. I don't want to go too into it, but they send Kermit in. They give him a small budget and a small team. It fails. They try a coup. It fails, and they send him a letter saying, "Get the hell out." And he goes rogue. Now again, maybe this is changed over time. I don't know, but the idea is that he like keeps going. He believes in it and keeps stirring up resentment, and then hits on the right thing at the right time to start a spark in it. Anyway, he goes for a second coup. It works. And the success of that second coup is what makes them change their whole plan towards coups in South America and other things in general. Like this kicks off. Like had Kermit just stopped.
Okay, I don't know about this to say whether it's right or wrong. So, okay, give me a second. Let me use the restroom. I think they're done. Let me go. Let me channel my. They're done. I think they're done. They are done. They truly are done. One sec. They're done. I can feel it. They're done. They're done. Okay. It must be they work till 3. That's the shifts. Maybe I should just start from like 3 and then from 3 to 11 or whatever. Does this wake me up? Oh, like 9 or 10, yeah.
Be pro-Hamas and pro-Iran. Hold on.
When you strawman me, it makes this entire exchange fall apart.
So
I'm trying to have an honest exchange.
This is a figure of speech. Throws tampon. As in what? Tells her she's on her period? Or tells her to go buy a tampon? This is absolutely just a figure of speech. 100%.
You're trying to be pro-Hamas.
Who would you collab with if you lived in New York? There's a whole bunch of like media show people types that live up there, I think. Like people that do like news and stuff, like Brian Tyler Cohen, like everybody that works, like all the big media offices for like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, like are all up there, like anything like that. I'm pretty friendly with the guy who owns the Comedy Cellar, Noam. I always forget his fucking last name. Friendly in the comedian circle-ish with a couple of the people. Brian Longan is the other guy, like... Is Brian in LA? Oh, is he? I thought he was in New York. Is your budget really only $1 million for a home? I don't know, dude. I'm just joking. I'm just looking. Dude, I'm... Oh yeah, Nick Mullen. Bro, you own like 6 things, you can rent 2 places in the country and split your time. No, I don't want to fucking do that.
I'm pro-Iran. Hold on.
When you strawman me, it makes this entire exchange fall apart.
So
I'm trying to have an honest exchange
So
with
am
you.
I.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. Please don't put words in my mouth.
You can talk when I'm done talking, and that's how this will work. No?
But if you strawman me, and argue that I'm making arguments that I didn't make, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you if you lie about what I'm saying.
So you're a grown-up when you argue. Got it.
I am a grown-up, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So...
Why would you... I am a grown-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So... you seem very emotional, and I threw you a tissue just in case. I also have a tampon in case you need a tampon.
Adam, she's gonna beat the shit out of you.
That's fine. That's fine. It's a tampon just in case you start crying.
Listen, I'm not.
Oh no, why would you do this?
I'm not deterred by your like ridiculous juvenile attacks. Let's have an argument about the actual facts.
Israel is fighting terrorists around the world.
Frogan deleted all of her VODs. Destiny wishes he had the resourcefulness and tenacity of DSP. He did full game reviews with fire alarms going, and he was never deterred in the slightest. If she walked up to him and slapped him, would that be based or unhinged? That would be one of those moments where I would say, that's pretty unhinged, but he totally deserved it. That happens sometimes.
Okay, what is up, everybody? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to Release Day Unboxing for Tuesday, February 11th, 2014. And before everyone says what on earth is going on, you probably hear an incredibly annoying, high-pitched, droning sound going on. That is the fire alarm in my condo facility. And the problem is, the fire alarm in this condo facility has a nasty habit of, during the middle of the winter, especially when it's very cold, of going off as a malfunction. Now, this is actually a common problem with older fire.
Where the fuck did he get a tampon from? That means he had to get one by entering the women's restroom or steal it from his wife or daughter. That's pretty unhinged. You know that you can... You know that stores sell tampons in packs, right? You could buy a pack of tampons, right?
Detection systems. And of course, this building is old and they don't feel like ever replacing it or upgrading it because the condo association is a bunch of cheapskate motherfuckers. So this alarm has gone off no...
You would definitely run into similar problems in New York when it comes to daytime construction noise, or probably more often. If you consider Philadelphia, shut the fuck up. No, the problem is not construction noise. The problem is they're literally drilling into the fucking building or power washing. It's the fact that it's like in my building, on my building, above me, right above me. That's the issue. I can handle like construction noise outside is different than when it's literally on your building. For everyone!
Less than 3 times already today. It actually went off once when I was out picking up Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. And I know because...
Why would he go to the store buy a whole ass pack of tampons when you can just literally get one from the bathroom so that you can make the same sexist joke over and over and over again? Why not? Okay, 3:30s. They're just working a little bit extra today.
One of the most important challenges I think our democracy faces is how do we regain some common sense of truth? Not absolute truth, but rough, basic truth. In 2020, one person won the election, and it wasn't the guy complaining about it. And that's just a fact. That wasn't, just like, you know, my inauguration had more people. And that's demonstrable. I say that, by the way, not because, I don't care. But facts are important. Because if you can't, and I think one of the most pernicious things that has happened is we have a situation now where we're not just arguing policy or values or opinions, but basic facts are being contested. And that is a problem. Because then the marketplace of ideas of the democracy don't work. I've said this before, but I always repeat it. You and I can have an opinion about this little side table. You know, you might not like the design, you might not like the color or how it's finished, but we can have that discussion. If I say to you, this is a lawnmower, you'll think I'm crazy. And if I really believe it, I'll think you're crazy. And we're now in a situation in which we are having these just basic factual arguments. And that further undermines trust. And those in power, those with money, exploit that space in which nobody knows what's true. Vladimir Putin and the KGB had a saying that was then adopted.
Your frustration is suspicious for one more data point leading to a diagnosis of ASD, or autism spectrum disorder. Sensory sensitivity is real. I seriously recommend testing and therapy to gain insight. No shade. True. Yesterday, there was a loud noise in my apartment for 6 hours, and it really bothered me. Does this mean I have autism?
There's some leaked audio. And we're going to start out and I want to share some leaked audio. And, you know, this is audio of Trump saying some things, and we need your candid thoughts on what to do, right? This is not out at this point, but we need to have a plan in place on how to react and respond to this stuff if it ends up hitting the media. So.
Look, I need cameras in the dressing room. You know, cameras on the wall, cameras on the floor, aimed up at their whatevers. I want the best cameras, set up by the best Chinamen. Understand?
Yeah, well, that could be a violation of...
It's to make sure that they're safe.
Safe?
I mean, look, I can't be there all day. I'll just start grabbing them. Believe me, for them, not me. I'm a man. They're beautiful women. It's totally natural. You know, sometimes I'll walk in naked. So then we're all naked. I mean, if they file a complaint against me, I can file it right back at them. The Jew lawyer taught me that one.
We need to have a plan in place on how to react and respond to this stuff if it ends up hitting the media.
Well, this is obviously old. It's before he decided he was going to be a politician. I personally don't care. I just don't care.
See, I like him because he says all. I like him because he says all that. We love it when he says what everybody thinks and won't say. And with that personality goes those kind of comments most of the time.
As a man, I know I've been in situations, we've been in locker rooms, it's man talk. I've done it, said it, they've done it, said it. I've been around plenty of men, professional, I mean, you name it, every man has said something to the effects.
This is retarded. I don't care. This can't be real. When did it stop? What time did it stop yesterday? Fuck, I actually do have to think about stream stuff. I can't, there's no way I'll be able to stream through this. If this is going to be like 2 weeks of this, I won't be able to do it until 4. I'll just have to start later and go later.
Okay, let's start class. So, let us summarize and review where we are so far in the story. So, there are 3 major forces that are pushing the United States towards war with Iran. The first is the Israel lobby. Remember that the Israel lobby is composed of both Jewish interests as well as Christian interests, right? Representing the Jewish interest is something called AIPAC. And they have a membership of about 100,000. But they're very wealthy. There are many billionaires in this group. So this group has financial power. In fact, AIPAC is considered the second most powerful lobbying organization in the United States. The first is the pensioners, okay? There's about 30 million of them. And their lobbying organization is the most powerful. But AIPAC is second. But also in the Israel lobby are the Christian Zionists, right? So for example, the organization Christians United for Israel has 7 million people in its membership. So together, the Christian Zionists and AIPAC...
Just as a heads up, is this guy actually teaching a class, or does he just put the whiteboard up and everything to give the impression that he's a professor when he's just talking to a camera?
Are extremely powerful force in government, and they want a war in the Middle East in order to advance Israel's interests. Also remember that America is now addicted to empire, because empire represents easy money. All money has to be channeled through the U.S. And so there are many people in the U.S. who just basically make their money by speculating on money, okay? So for example, Wall Street. And that has made Wall Street extremely powerful right now in U.S. politics.
This is deeply unserious. Does this get better soon? This guy, my immediate impression of him in the last video after 30 seconds was retarded. I'm getting stronger and stronger impression this guy's retarded. Does this get better, or?
And the third force is Saudi Arabia. Remember that in our discussion of Saudi Arabia, we learned that the major conflict in the Middle East is actually not between Israel and Iran, but between Saudi Arabia and Iran. For Israel, Iran is a security threat because it supports Hezbollah and Hamas. But for Saudi Arabia, Iran represents a threat to its very existence. Okay? So Saudi Arabia must resolve the Iran problem soon. Right? Now, how these 3 forces manifest themselves is through Trump. Okay? So basically, Trump is their champion. And privately, there's a man named Jared Kushner, who is Trump's son-in-law. He's married to Trump's daughter, Ivanka Trump, okay? And Jared Kushner happens to be very good friends with both Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the leader of Israel, as well as Mohammed bin Salman, who is the leader of Saudi Arabia. Now, Jared Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, was a very prominent sponsor of AIPAC. In fact, when Benjamin Netanyahu comes to stay in the United States, he lives with the Kushner family. So one night, Benjamin Netanyahu had to stay in Jared Kushner's bedroom, and Jared Kushner had to sleep in the basement. Okay, that's how close they are. And Jared Kushner is friendly with MBS, the leader of Saudi Arabia, so friendly that when Jared Kushner started a private equity fund, Saudi Arabia invested $2 billion. Okay? So through Jared Kushner, these 3 forces are able to exert influence on Trump. As we also discussed, it's very likely that Trump will become president of the United States again in November, and he will pick Nikki Haley as his VP. And that means that Nikki Haley will be the one in the Trump White House pushing for war against Iran. As we discussed, Nikki Haley makes most of her money from the Israel lobby, okay? The anti-Iran lobby. We know from the first Trump administration that these forces are able to exert tremendous influence on Trump, okay? And the evidence is, one, Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal that would have secured peace between the United States and Iran, okay? Trump moved the United States embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem in Israel, which was which caused major friction in the Middle East, okay? We also know that Trump ignored the fact that MBS killed a journalist, okay? So we also know that Trump has been very friendly with Saudi Arabia. We also know that Trump sponsored the Abraham Accords, which is trying to bring peace between Israel and other Arab countries in uniting against Iran, okay? The last thing that Trump did, which is the most important, is that in January 2020, Trump ordered the assassination of General Qassem Soleimani, who is the leader of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. Okay? So from all this, we can suspect that in a second Trump term, war with Iran will be a major priority. Okay? So is this clear so far? All right. Now, we also discussed that, okay, even though there are these forces that want war with Iran, ultimately it is the U.S. military that must implement this war. And if the U.S. military refuses to go to war, then the war can happen. So we discussed that, unfortunately, the U.S. military is very different from what it was 30 years ago. Okay? 30 years ago, the U.S. military maintained very standard military doctrine. Okay? They maintained three very important principles that all militaries must maintain in a time of war. The first is mass forces. B is avoid encirclement, right? And the third is protect supply lines.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do, okay? I bet you can't answer a 10-question quiz on World War II history from AI. For World War II history, probably not. Okay, I will come back in 45 minutes. By 4, they'll be done. And maybe we'll try to set up TikTok stuff. I can't do this. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay? Don't die. Fuck all of you, and I hate all of you.